Worm, prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
After weeks of trash talk, last night, Christopher Sabat and Sean Schemmel finally faced off with their prime characters Vegeta and Goku in a huge event at the midnight release of Dragon Ball FighterZ, where they went toe-to-toe to see who was the best Saiyan warrior. And of course, Christopher Sabat won because he trained before he went in. While Sean Schemmel trained a little bit, he stated he could have done more to prepare. But there's one thing that he stated that really hit home for me last night. He said that playing the game to him was like him being at work. For us fans, this was the closest thing we were gonna get to being a part of the show. And honestly, he couldn't make this statement if there was not this one defining characteristic that underlines all Dragon Ball fighters: love. That is the only way that I can describe Dragon Ball FighterZ. And not just saying that I love it or the community as a whole seems to love this game. I'm stating that the development into this game came from a deep place of love for the content that's being displayed in this video game. Love for the show, love for Dragon Ball style video games, and love for what these video games could ultimately be. This is a Dragon Ball video game's ultimate form. With so much love that went into this, you can see it in almost every level of the game. From the small little hints of callbacks from just the fighting moves that some of these characters have. The way that if you punch a character a certain way, they go flying into a building, or they go flying completely into a different arena. The love that goes into making every single character play differently. Characters that in past series of video games have not gotten that level of detailed customization to their fighting skill set. Some of these characters, if not most of them, had very weak fighting moves or carbon copies of other characters that were in those video games. This game finds a unique and interesting way to make every character play differently, all the way from using their transformations for ultimate finishers such as Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku as finishers for Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Goku. I mean, you can plant Cybermen as Nappa and have them fight alongside you. Captain Ginyu and the Ginyu Force, which ultimately for me is one of the characters that I hate and loathe playing in any Dragon Ball video game, and making him a character that I love to play by adding the rest of the Ginyu Force into his moveset. Love is really the only way that I can describe Dragon Ball FighterZ. For the first time in a long time, I'm extremely excited to see what other characters they add into this game. Other Dragon Ball video games, even recent ones, haven't caught my attention with the new fighters they have added into these games, mainly because they're not that diverse or interesting or fun in my own personal opinion. But this game just makes them more unique and just a sight to behold. I mean, just the visuals alone, with the sound of buildings and punches, glass breaking, ki blasts, and some of the finest voice acting that I've heard in a long time in a video game is all on full display here. I cannot wait to get characters such as Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. Possibly, if they go into GT, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Because I know at this point, at this level, that whatever character they're going to add into this game, they're going to put 100% detail into making each character be unique and different while also being balanced. And that's one thing that Dragon Ball FighterZ has going for it: the balancing. Almost every character, I would say, is extremely balanced. The only characters that I've really come across that are hard to play against are maybe Trunks and Yamcha, because they're so fast. But that's just personally for me. That's just my own way of dealing with these fighters, and I have to get over that and get used to these guys and be able to fight against them. And I know if they add any of these characters, it's just going to be beautifully done, and I cannot wait for this to happen. And when it comes to the story, oh man, love, it doesn't even come close to even describing, honestly. I mean, there's so much love poured into the story. The story is extremely unique for a Dragon Ball story, to be honest. There is this whole sort of fodder system. There's a lot of gameplay in the story, but this fodder system where you have to fight the clones does get sort of tedious, but you do get a really in-depth story, and when you get to those story beats where you actually have to fight real characters to prolong the story and move the story forward, it is exhilarating, especially right before the battle starts. There are so many interactions between characters that we've never seen before, questions that are ultimately being answered. I was simply in awe at my favorite moment in these guys, where Cell and Ultimate Gohan, if you have them together on the same team, they get a little bit of nuanced interaction where Cell roasts Gohan, essentially telling him that he is not as strong as he was as a kid. And just how rich in fan service this is makes the story a delight to behold.
Cell, I am not your true enemy. You know that, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I thought I would just perform a little test of your true strength. I can no longer sense that overwhelming power you have demonstrated. I'm surprised you haven't totally lost your fighting spirit.
If you really want to test my power, you can just pay close attention to me in this fight. As I am now, there's no point in fighting me.
Yeah, no kidding.
Even if you don't plan on teaming up with me, our enemy and our end goal are the same. To be honest, I haven't forgiven you for what you did. But there's something more important to me now.
Something more important, you say? Still spouting off that foolish, naive drivel, I see.
Say what you want, but the only reason I fight now is to protect those I care about. There's no other reason than that to fight.
Oh, brother. Well, it's obvious you don't intend to fight me.
If you can understand that, then concentrate on the real enemy in front of us.
Now, it's of no concern to me whether or not you have a reason to fight. But perhaps you'd feel differently if I were to do something to those you fight so hard to protect. Remind me, who was it again that said we should concentrate on the real enemy in front of us? Don't worry, I'll save that for last. No sense in wasting a good time. Don't use up all your strength. I do so want to settle things once all of this is finished.
I really could find some nitpicks to sort of poke at this game. I really don't want to. This game just pushes further beyond any other Dragon Ball game that I've ever seen, in my opinion. And as I stated earlier, this is Dragon Ball Z Games' ultimate form. So I won't sully it by nitpicking at some of these small little things that really could be brushed over, and if they do make a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2, maybe worked out in that possible sequel. So I'm gonna be giving this game a 7 out of 7 Dragon Balls. This is a 10 out of 10, guys. If you are a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, enthusiast, whatever you want to call yourself, get this game. Now more than ever, there are only about 7 episodes left, I believe, in the Tournament Power. In all of Dragon Ball Super, it ends in March. Guys, now more than ever is a critical time for you guys to get this game and let it hold you over up until we get the new Dragon Ball movie that's coming out later on this year. And hopefully it'll hold you over for the next Dragon Ball series that hopefully comes out the following year. So with that being said, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Dragon Ball FighterZ if you've gotten it already. If you guys have the game for PS4, I would be more than happy to add you. And so let me know what your name is so I can go ahead and do that. Drop me a like if you like anything that I had to say. and subscribe. This is going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.